Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. If you're new around here, hello, welcome, my name is Charlotte. In today's video I'm going to be sharing with you all the books that I read because I watched the film or the TV show. I was inspired to do this video because Kiara, over on, I think her channel name is Kiara Foster. Editing Charlotte here, just to say that I can't pronounce names and my mind has always pronounced how Kira's name is spelt as Kiara, and I was only told that it's pronounced Kira when we had Storm Kira and it was spelt Kira's way. And I was like, it's Storm Kiara. I don't know why I ever thought it was Kiara. So apologies, Kira. It's pronounced Kira. She did a video which was basically this video and I was very like, oh my god, I want to do that. Because it combines TV shows and films and books, and I feel like that's what I've been wanting to film very much recently. So I was just like, yes, I want to film that. I think that's a really cool video. So I'll link her channel and her video in the description below for you to go check out. I have a list of 11 books here that I have read because I watched the TV show or film. I'm going to start with the kind of big series ones first, like the OG book series adaptations sort of things, and some of them you might be surprised at, but I'm just going to jump right in and talk about all the books that I've read because I watched the TV show or film first. So the first book you're probably all very surprised at. You might be, you might not be, because maybe this is the same for some of you, but the first book that I read, or it's basically one of the first books that I read because I'd watched a TV show or film, is Harry Potter. You're probably thinking, oh, Charlotte's a fake Harry Potter fan. She watched the films before she read the books. Semi-false, semi-true. When I was about 4 or 5, I watched Chamber of Secrets at my nan. I think she had it on DVD. I don't know why she had it on DVD because she didn't have Philosopher's Stone, and I would watch it on repeat. I was addicted. I was hooked. I was like, this is the best thing I've ever seen. So I watched that film on repeat and fell absolutely madly in love with Harry Potter. I was automatically like, right, I need to read these books. I can't obviously remember exactly being like, Mum, I want to read these books, or if it was me or if it was my mum who decided to go, yes, let's read these books. And I think I then went along with the whole thing of reading the books before I saw the film. I can't remember if I watched Philosopher's Stone or Prisoner of Azkaban before I read the books, but I think from at least Goblet of Fire onwards, I read the books before I watched the films, and obviously now the rest is history and it's the love of my life and Harry Potter is my world. Thanks, Nan, for having Chamber of Secrets on DVD, because otherwise I wouldn't be the person I am today. I wouldn't be the Draco Malfoy loving, Harry Potter loving person I am today. The next book, or the next book series that I read because I saw the film, didn't just birth a love for a series or a world. It didn't just birth a love for characters and like even like an actor. It birthed booktube for me. It gave me booktube. It gave me the booktube community, and I'm honestly so grateful for it. Like, this is why I will always prefer this film over its later TV show adaptation, so maybe that's a little hint. So this next one is City of Bones. This is the film cover which I first got. I do have the normal paperback, non-movie tie-in edition paperback, because I was like, I don't want a whole series when the first book doesn't match. But I bought the movie cover because I was obsessed with the movie. I went to go see the movie just on a whim with my friend. We were like, oh, this looks cool. It's like fantasy, it's teen, like, let's go see it. We were like 14 and we went to go see it in the cinema and we didn't really know much about it, and we came out being like, oh my god, that was so amazing. We had theories. We were coming out of it being like, oh my god, are Jason and Clary siblings? Oh my god, this is crazy. The first time I laid eyes on Jamie Campbell-Bower, like looking back on it, definitely was love at first sight. I fell in love with Jamie Campbell-Bower and like became obsessed with that man. And obviously because I loved the film and I was like, oh my god, I want the next film, but like I'm gonna have to wait a while. I was like, gotta read the books, gotta get on that, and I did. Very slowly got through the rest of the books. Like, obviously now, if this happened to me now, I would have like binged the series. Very slowly then read The Mortal Instruments, and now that's led to me reading all of Cassandra Clare's Shadowhunter books and being in love with them completely. It honestly birthed a moment, birthed a time in my life. It changed me. If it wasn't for that film, I wouldn't have found The Mortal Instruments, and I wouldn't have found the Shadowhunter world, and I wouldn't have found BookTube, because I don't remember why or how, but I went on YouTube and was just searching stuff to do with the film, and I think I saw a video by Christine do a video of her reacting to like the casting of the film, and then I slowly fell down the BookTube hole. And here we are nearly 7 years, like 6.5 years later. It's mad that it's nearly 7 years ago that I fell in love and found the series and found BookTube. I feel like these are my babies. I think that's why Emma Books is one of my favourite booktubers, because I feel like we had a very similar discovery of BookTube and rediscovery of reading. When I met her last August, I bought this book along with me to the meetup and was like, I just want her to sign it. She is one of the reasons why I love this series so much. It says, to Charlotte, all the stories are true, and then she just signed it, Emma Books. This is me just having a little fangirl moment for Emma Books. This series honestly changed my life. Introduced me to Jamie Campbell-Bower, who I can't explain. Words cannot tell you how much I love him. Even though the film has a special place in my heart, I know that the film's not great. TV show's not as good. The TV show's worse. So the next book, which is the last of kind of like the big series, is Percy Jackson. I knew that one of my friends was like obsessed with this series when we were like in year 7, so when we were like 12 years old, but I just never really knew about it and never really got into it until the second film came out. I didn't even watch the first film when it came out. I didn't really know about it. I knew that my friend was really obsessed with these books. She was really excited for the release of the second film, so she was like, oh, we should all go see it, and I was like, I haven't seen the first one, but I'll watch the first one, and I did, and I was like, oh, this is so cool. It's like kid action Greek heroes. It's like so much fun. Like, oh, this is awesome. And then I went to go see the second film, and I was like, that was so much, that's crazy, that was so good. I don't think I've actually read this edition or this copy of The Lightning Thief because I borrowed my friend, the one who was obsessed with Percy Jackson, I borrowed her version or her copy of this to read it, and then I was like, oh, if I like it, then I'll buy the rest of the series myself. I obviously was like, oh my god, these films are so cool. And then I read the series, and then that's when I realised that the films were, well, we all know why they're not good. Once again, I'm so grateful that my friend and these films happened, and that my friend was obsessed with these series as a lot as she was, because then she wouldn't have been like, let's go see the second film, and then I wouldn't have seen all the films and been like, oh my god, I want to read the books. And I really do need to reread these series, but I just haven't given myself the time to do so. But if it wasn't for those films, I wouldn't have found my love for Percy Jackson, and I wouldn't have found Uncle Rick. Good old Uncle Rick, we love him. The next book is actually a very recent read of mine. I read it back in February, and I watched the film like 2014, 2015, and I watched it because of somebody who was in it that I loved. This is my moment when I flex that I knew about Tom Holland before Spider-Man, but that book is How I Live Now by Meg Rossoff.
Hi. No one calls me Elizabeth, except my dad, and he's an asshole. So if you don't mind, my name's Daisy. Let's throw back to 2013, Charlotte. It was like beginning of 2013. My brother, who's like 11 years older than me, he was like, oh, I'll take you to the cinema, we go to cinema, you know, we'll go and get some food afterwards. And he was like, oh, do you want to go see that like kind of disaster film, that film about like that tsunami called The Impossible? And I was like, yeah, that looks really good, we should go see that. So we did. I loved it, still love it. And I was like, oh, that kid who plays Lucas, he's so cute, like, oh my god, I love him. And then went home, found out about him, fell in love with Tom Holland, became obsessed with Tom Holland, and then wanted to watch everything he was in. And that's when I came across How I Live Now. I watched that film, I really liked it. I've on and off watched the film. I think I've got it on DVD, but I've on and off watched the film since. And I eventually decided, screw it, I'm gonna pick up the book. I did actually buy this like a few years ago, and I think I tried to read it in like September 2017, but I hit a bit of a reading slump. But then I picked it up in February. I gotta say that the book isn't as good as the film. The book low-key annoyed me. I think I gave it like a 2.5 or a 2.75 out of 5 stars, so I definitely prefer the film. Maybe I'm a bit biased because I did watch the film first and because Tom Holland's in it. I think maybe just the film did stuff with the book that I kind of preferred. Also, I think the author of this book came to my school one time. She might not have come into my school. I might be making that up. I can't remember. I feel like she did. The next book is a TV show and a film. It was originally a film back in like the 60s, and they've made remakes of it since in like the 90s, like Liam Neeson or something, and it was quite a bad one. I've never seen that one, but I've heard it's bad. But the TV show came out in 2018. It was an amazing TV show, like 10 out of 10, like honestly, god tier. I had to read the book. I never really intended on reading the book, but I had to read the book for university end of last year. I gotta say, the book was great, but I definitely prefer the TV show, and that is The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson. I did an adaptation module last term. One of them was doing The Haunting of Hill House and looking at The Haunting, the film, and The Haunting of Hill House, the TV show. I watched the TV show like a year before and really enjoyed it, but reading the book and then like analysing it and talking about it as an adaptation made me love the TV show so much more. It is such an amazingly crafted TV show, and the book is great as well. I love how the book it's very obviously very gothic. It's very like a modern classic gothic. The book did spook me out a little bit, I'm not gonna lie, and I don't usually get spooked out by books, but there was just one scene when I was like, spooky. The book is really good because it's really atmospheric, and it really makes you think and really makes you question whether the house is actually haunted or if it's the mental state of some of the people who are staying at the house. I think it's just crafted so well. But the TV show, the Mike Flanagan TV show, is just, it's just brilliant. He takes so much from this book and just makes it his own. He makes it his own TV show, but still takes themes and takes ideas and obviously characters from the book,
but then just again crafts it into himself. He adds characters, he builds a storyline, he builds history, he builds backstory, he builds character development, and it's just so well crafted. And I'm so excited for The Haunting of Bly Manor, which is kind of the second series in this kind of anthology he's doing. I think what I will do is when that series comes out is then read, after I've watched it, is then read the book of like it's based off, and I think it's like The Turning of the Screw or the Shrew or something like that. I'm really grateful that I was able to study this because I think it really heightened my love for the TV show, and I think I just loved this book more, and I think I would have loved it more by studying it if I just read it on a whim. The 1960 film is good for its time. I still enjoy it and it's still good, but I think obviously a lot of films as they get older, it's kind of like you maybe lose a bit of interest in it and it kind of gets a little bit boring, but not too, like, you know what I mean. I would like to watch the one with Liam Neeson just to see how good it is. Both this book and this TV show are great, and I am glad that I watched the TV show first because I think I would have loved and I understood the book a bit more by watching the TV show first. The next book is a hunker of a book, and I cannot believe I even got through this. This film was one of my favourite films. It is still one of my favourite films, and it was my favourite film of that year, I think. And it came out 2017. I absolutely fell in love with it because it's horror and because it's 80s and because it's like a two-parter film. I was just like desperate and wanting more, so I thought pick up the book even though it's like over 1,000 pages. And that is It by Stephen King.
Hiya, Georgie.
Look how thick she is. I cannot believe I even read this. It took me like 3 months to get through this, and I think it probably accentuated the slump that I was in. I went to see the film because I love a bit of Stephen King, I love horror, I love 80s. I was very so there for it, and I absolutely loved the first film. I think it was incredible. The second film was good, wasn't as good as the first, but I still enjoy it. I just needed more. I fell into like the It fandom on Stan Twitter, and I was just like, I need to read the book because I need more, and I did. And if you ask me to kind of give an analysis and tell you about the book, I probably can't remember a lot of it. I remember like the important and big stuff, but it's quite hard to remember stuff when, you know, it took you 3 months to read like a 1,300 page book. I think as an accomplishment sort of thing, I'm glad I did read it because she's thick. I'm glad I did read it just so I can say to myself, yes, I've read an over 1,000 page book. It was a task, and there were moments where I was like, what the hell is going on? This is the weirdest thing I've ever read. At the end of the day, I did enjoy it, and I loved the first film. Second film, I feel like I need to rewatch it, but I do enjoy it. I just think it's such a great story. I love it. I just love it. Love a bit of horror. Love a bit of Stephen King. The next book, I think I read, again around the same time that I read It. I think I read it in 2017, but I watched the film kind of around the time that it came out, and that was probably like 2010, 2011. I can't remember off the top of my head exactly when it came out. No, it might be like 2009 actually. And I watched the film because around that time I was studying in school, in like primary school, the topic that this book and this film is about. Because of the content of the film, my parents had to watch it first to then be like, are we allowed? Can we show this to our daughter? And they did end up showing it to me. It wrecked me, it scarred me, I was traumatized as a child. I never really wanted to read the book just because of how terrorized and haunted and scarred I was as a child, but I eventually picked it up because I grew up and I was like, that the past is the past, it's bygones be bygones. And that is The Boy in the Striped Pajamas by John Boyne. We all know this book, we all know the story. I watched this film back when I was a kid, and I just remember finishing watching it, coming upstairs, just being like, I'm just gonna go upstairs to my room, and then just crying. And then my mum came up and she was like, are you okay? And I was like, no. And then I was really just haunted by the story and by the subject topic, so I kind of was just like, I think I had the book and I was just like, no, I don't want to read it. I eventually did read it a few years later, or quite a few years later, like 5 years later, or more than that probably. I'm glad I did because it was a really good book, and it was nice to kind of just see it kind of told from in a different way, because I feel like in this, Bruno is more naive and he's more, like, he does seem more like a child. Obviously when you're seeing him on screen, you're like, that is a baby Asa Butterfield, so you know he's a child, but at the same time, like, this I think made him more naive and, you know, unaware of stuff going on, and it was still very like haunting. I did actually do a book talk on this back in the day, and it's actually got like over 1,000 views, and I'm actually baffled by that. I might link it in the description below so you can go and see like Small Charlotte. It was like nearly 3 years ago. I am glad that I read it when I was a bit older than I was younger, because I think otherwise I would have honestly just scarred myself and honestly just ruined myself as a child if I read the book as well. But this book, especially the film, does still hold up as one of the films that will wreck me to the end of my days. The film especially, so good, and the book is good, but I think I might prefer the film. Maybe because Asa Butterfield and like David Thewlis and Vera Farmiga. The book is still great, but the film just has a very special place and a very poignant place in my heart and in my history and my past, my life. The next book is one that I think a lot of people did read the book first, maybe because it's obviously a very important and poignant book in a lot of people's like growing up in teenagehood and childhood, but I didn't, and that is The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky.
And in this moment, I swear, we are infinite.
I don't think I knew about the book before the film came out, and I don't think I saw the film straight away. I think it took me a little while to watch the film, obviously because the film is not like PG, is like 12, or maybe I think it might be 12 rated. I was never a kid that was even like allowed or even bothered to watch films that were outside of, you know, were older than, were from my older age audience. So I didn't really watch this until I was at that age. I wanted to watch it, and I absolutely love the film. The film was like just an amazing film, and I didn't actually read this until like 2016, end of 2016, because I just wasn't really feeling it, and I was just didn't really get around to it. I'm really glad I did, because even though I think I do prefer the film, but not by a huge amount, I do still love the book, and I think the book is really good. I think I would really like to reread it. Even when I did know the film, and even before I actually watched the film, I think it was one of those films that I didn't watch for ages, and I was one of the few people that hadn't watched it. I had heard a lot of like more adulty themes in it, because obviously this does deal with like sexual abuse and suicide and stuff like that. So when I did hear about that, I was like, oh, that's never been in films that I watched. I can't watch that, I'm too young. But then eventually I did watch it, and I really loved the film. I am probably one of the rare people who read this after I watched the film, or it took me a while to even read this book. But I'm definitely glad I did. And Stephen Chbosky I think is great. He wrote the screenplay for the film, which I think helps make it one of like the best adaptations. And he also wrote the screenplay, and I think maybe he also directed Wonder, which is a really great book, and is such an amazing film as well. So I think he's very good for both. He's good for both like books and screenplays. And I would like to read Imagining a Friend. I've had mixed reviews, but I still want to read it just because it sounds cool, and also Stephen Chbosky. The last three I don't actually have the book for anymore, because I obviously got rid of it in the time since I read it. But the next one is The Revenant. I cannot remember who this is by. I was hyped as hell for this film like a year before it came out because of Leonardo DiCaprio, and mainly because of Will Poulter. So if you've seen my Spotify video, you'll know that Will Poulter is like my love. So I was really excited for this film, because I was like, Will Poulter gets to be in a film with his like favourite actor. So I went to go see this film with two of my friends on the day it came out, I think around that time, and I just loved the film. I thought it was really great, and I was so happy that Leo won his Oscar for it. Me being the obsessive human being I am, I was like, I love this film so much, I can't stop thinking about it, let's read the book. I did, and I'm not saying I regret reading it, but I feel like it wasn't important to, because the book is a fictionalized adaptation of a real life story, and then the film is obviously an adaptation of the book. I feel like the book was a lot more heavy and a lot more just bogged down with information and stuff like that. I definitely don't remember much about the book. At the end of the day, I read it, and I think I enjoyed it. I might have given it at least a 3 out of 5 stars. I still love the film, which I haven't seen it for a while. The next one is Never Let Me Go by Kazuo Ishiguro. If you did watch my Spotify video, I did talk about this book, and I said how in like year 8, so when I was like 13, me and my friends were obsessed with the film Never Let Me Go. Like, one person watched it and like became obsessed with it. I was like, oh my god, this is so crazy. So then told the rest of us, like, oh my god, you need to watch this film. And we did. We were all obsessed with it because we thought it was like, oh, it's such a weird, like, crazy concept. And you know what it's about, because it's about kids who are basically raised to like harvest their organs. And as time went on, I kind of did want to read the book, but just never got around to it. And I did read it like quite a few years ago, actually, like probably like 5 years ago, maybe. Around that, I don't know. I haven't actually seen the film much since. Like, I do need to rewatch it just because I want to, even though I don't really remember the book because I read the book quite a while ago. I did this in a really bad order. I watched the film, and then it took me ages to then read the book, and then it's taken me ages to rewatch the film. I think because the book is like adult literary fiction, when I was reading it, I can't remember when I read it, but it might be like 2014, 2015, I was like, this is so heavy and blah 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 for me, because I'm not really even like a classics person. Like, I'm not very good with heavy fiction. I think I did prefer the film. It's more easy to understand. I do need to rewatch this film because it's got, as I said in my Spotify video, Andrew Garfield, Carey Mulligan, Keira Knightley. But another fun fact, the author of this book went to my university, and I think he recently won like a Nobel Prize. And the final book, I think I only read maximum 2 books from this series, is Pretty Little Liars.
Oh my god, it's finally got one too. I'm still here, bitches, and I know everything. Hey.
As most people my age, when we were like 13, 14, we were all obsessed with Pretty Little Liars. I have rewatched it since and gone like, this show is terrible, but it's addictive, but it's terrible and has very questionable morals. But I was obsessed with the TV show when I was a kid, I think because it is that kind of like, these are teenagers doing scandalous things and they've got all much drama going on in their life, and oh my god, this is so scandalous, this is so crazy, it's so addictive. I was honestly obsessed. Like, ask any of my friends, obsessed. And I was like, oh, I should read the books, you know, I like reading, I should read the books and see what they're like. I don't think I liked the books at all because I think they were so different from the TV show. I think I remember like reading the book and I think it like described Ezra, and Ezra had like blonde hair and blue eyes. I literally threw my book across the room. If that tells you anything about like 14-year-old Charlotte, because I was obsessed with like Ezra, which now looking back, that's why the show has questionable morals, because if it makes a 14-year-old fall in love with a teacher-student relationship,
I mean, that's nasty.
now like when I'm watching it, I'm like, this is nonsense, this is disgusting, he's a paedophile, he is your teacher. I don't think I got on with the book just because it was so different from the TV show. I think the only reason why I read the books was because I wanted more from the TV shows. I was hoping it would give me more, but really it just gave me something different. I honestly think it would be jokes to go back and read all of them, just maybe as a video, because I think that would be hilarious, and me kind of like judging whether the plot reveals and like in the book are better than in the TV show, because the TV show ones are terrible.
How hard did Mona hit you? Yeah, I guess you could say he has a type. Would you like a sedative? After Charlotte died, I needed closure.
That was a weird time. So that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoy me going down memory lane a little bit and looking back at all the TV shows and films I used to be obsessed with as a kid, and kind of taking a trip down memory lane to show the origin of my love for some of my favourite series. Go and check out Kiara's video and channel, because obviously that video and her was the inspiration for this video. Let me know some of the books that you read because you watched the TV show or the film. If it's like some ones like Harry Potter, like me, that, you know, it's crazy that you watched the film before you read the book. If you're new around here, do not forget to subscribe, turn my notification bell on so you know when I'm gonna post. I'm gonna go and deheat because it's very hot, because once again I'm standing by my window and the sun's coming through. I need to stop rambling, and I will see you all in my next video.